we pay for what it.
Of course.
Whatever you do, you.
Yeah, but with I think okay, we're live now. We're live now, yeah. Okay. You're welcome to this evening conversation again, and if you're new to this program, I'm TG, the host of this conversation daily, and with me today are my two very regular brothers on this show. You must have known them if you've been watching our previous episodes. And from the right, or is it from the left? I don't know how you view from the right or from the left. You have Mr. Real One Tinubu there and Mr. Pope following very close to me. And tonight we're here to look at the issue of the Dowen College that we've seen. We've done a couple of episodes on that. We've done a class struggle, whether the private school is actually better than the public school. We've done a few episodes on parental upbringing of children in today's generation. And it is really a sad one to hear that news, you know, and our heart is always is with the family. We just quickly brought an update today on the Parents-Teacher Association meeting that they had the other day, and how parents actually reacted. And without wasting time, I'll just quickly allow my brothers to introduce themselves to you so you hear from them who they are and what they're into. They will quickly actually play the video of the meeting, and we'll take it off from there. So we'll play the video, then Mr. Tinubu, Mr. Pope will react quickly, then Mr. Tinubu will follow. We'll just have just 30 minutes, and out of 30 minutes, we'll spend about 2 minutes already. So we'll have very short time to go. So Mr. Tinubu, introduce yourself to our audience, and Mr. Pope, you'll do same. Then we'll jump over to the video and take it off.
Yeah, my name is Rilwan Ayodeji Tinubu. I'm live and direct from Cambridge, United Kingdom. I am a social media manager and also a human resource manager. And I'm also the MD/CEO of Noble Spare Nigeria Limited. And I think I also engage in, public analysis, in all ramifications. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mr. Pope, over to you.
Well, Tinubu has given all the intro, very intimidating intro. I am just Pope Innocent from Lagos, Nigeria. Lagos, Nigeria, a social commentator, and at the same time, a very sound teacher. So that is Mr. Pope Innocent for you, as Robert.
Thank you very much. And if you're new to our channels, please do well. One thing you will always plead that you do for us is please do well to click share. And do not forget to subscribe to our channel on Facebook, on YouTube, and on Instagram. Okay, on that note, we go over to a video that of the event that is transpiring, what transpired at the meeting where the parents, the Dowen College parents, they actually had a meeting with the management, and this video was actually thrown out in the public domain. So we picked it up. Let's say, okay, let's hear our view. Let's hear your reaction. Let's hear the reaction of people to this. And there's a reason why I brought this video. Please, when you watch it with open mind, and drop your view in the comment section as you're watching it. Okay, I bring the video in so that we can all have a look and watch it for ourselves.
My name is Samuel. I was a guidance counselor for. I hope you can hear me. I was a guidance counselor for many years, and I want to say right away that I worked at Dowen College for several years. One of the problems we have with most of the boarding houses today is that the structures are not built they're not purpose-built for boarding houses. I might be referring to Dowen College. Now, a situation where you have several stories, several floors, and no floor has a house parent monitoring the students. By the time you hear a sound and you go upstairs, the seniors have changed the story. That's exactly what happened at Dowen College. From the first day, they moved the students out of hired buildings into the permanent hostel. It was a time bomb waiting. Eventually, I resigned and left them. I went to A-Hall from Dowen College because of that situation. The children are not well monitored. I should not say too much about the place.
I'm sorry to say, why are you saying it now when it's better died?
Secondly,
why did you not say things? Why are you saying it now? My dad was bullied, almost died in Dowen College. Why did you not speak up now? Why did you not speak up then? And died has died now. And now you are talking, you studied this thing for 9 years. Then you left this school.
And I resigned because of that.
My son is a victim. They did exactly what they did to
the second problem, madam.
They put off the light. They beat him. They were dancing around. They carried a box on his head.
Sorry. Good evening. Good evening.
The second problem, ma'am.
Please.
Mr. Moy,
the second issue, ma'am.
No, please hold on. We please accept our condolence, ma'am. All this is
sorry.
Please accept our. I think that's
the second issue, madam.
Can you hold on, please?
Please hold on, sir.
Can you hold on, please? Can you hold on?
You'll be talking if you are a counselor. Listen to the mother.
Let her talk.
Exactly. I did know
that's exactly the problem we have. Listen.
Thing that they did to Sylvester Romani. They did it to my son. They entered the room. They put off the light. Seven of them brought my son to kneel down. They put a suitcase on his head. They were dancing around him like in an aquatic gathering. They were beating him. At the same time, they took out a phone. They recorded it. That video is online somewhere. And you are telling me that you left Dowen because of the bullying. Why did you not say it? So that more like us, we don't make the mistake of taking over our children back at home. I've been crying since on Thursday that I saw this video. I've not eaten, I've not drank, I've not slept. Our child has died. That boy was 11 years. Same age with my son. He could have been my son that died. I was lucky. Sylvester wasn't lucky. You are saying this now, having observed such a thing for 9 years. On what basis are you talking? On what grounds are you talking? They give security man in Dowen College ATM card to go and withdraw 50,000 naira, and then they begin to spend the money. Children will spend money. These children called security men by their names. Valentine is so fat he cannot climb up. He's downstairs. Ahmed, the housemaster, he doesn't climb up. The only grace that the guest hostel has is because of a lady they call Celine. Madam Celine, she's the woman in guest hostel. So she put discipline. You cannot bully in guest hostel in Dowen College. But you see the boys hostel, that third floor is the den where they commit the havoc. These children are bad. Everything Sylvester Romani said is the truth. They should arrest Ahmed. They should arrest Valentine. These are the housekeepers. The principal told me that she saw my son's video of being bullied, but she did not think it was important to act because they had not posted it online. She saw it and she slept on it. And you are telling me that you knew and you people allowed us to bring in our children. You collect 3 million for school fees and they cannot put ordinary CCTV camera. They cannot put ordinary CCTV camera. My 11-year-old child just left home in September and they bullied him. They tortured him. They battered him. 7 boys. 7 boys, including Benjamin Favor, who was named in Sylvester Romani's case. And you are telling me you are aware. What kind of a father are you?
Very much.
What kind of a father are you? Why did you not speak out before leaving? Why?
RTG.
You guys have an issue with the network.
Maybe.
think he has an issue with the network. I'm here anyway. I'm just trying to. That's why I'm disabling the camera.
Okay, okay.
If you're struggling with the network. Maybe we'll just go ahead with some of this.
Okay, okay. All right.
Yeah, what I just is it's so so pathetic. It's so worrisome. Yeah. I feel the pains of the families involved in the so-called killing of the school.
On have you heard me before?
Not.
Oh, so sorry. It means I've been muted. Oh, sorry. Sorry to our viewers must have heard the same. Yeah, I was muted from the mixer. So what I was saying that the expectation from the school, yeah, people actually expect more from this kind of this, and we had, I don't know whether I hear the video. You heard what the staff member said. They brought someone from a different school, actually said he was working in the school before. You get the point? But at some point, when he saw those kind of dangers in the place, he had to actually leave without voicing out. You see, but he not talk about say, see what need the experience or see what need notice. You get? Meanwhile, he sees some of those anomalies, say the way they hosted this or the location not good. You understand? The behavior of the children, keeping children there are no people to monitor each class. No, I don't know whether I don't see the video before, but when I played it, I thought you must have heard. But I believe those in the stream had the conversation. So, Mr. Pope,
we had everything.
Okay, good. Mr. Pope, over to you. Make a trump to you quickly so that Mr. Ari will go round them off from there.
Yes, it's a pity that we are discussing this so horrific and sympathetic issue here. No matter, I know, yes, as it starts now, emotions are very raw, and the stakes are high. In the sense that a child has been, a life has been lost. Not that a life, it was not a life that was bedridden, a life that was maybe was sick and no money to treat the life. A life that was forced to, that was sniffed out of a young man, a young boy, a just growing up boy. He was killed by just true bully. The senior bullied him, beat him, and they forced him not to say anything. Fine, from the video that we watched and listened to, the other woman, fine, emotions are raw, yes. The other woman challenged the man who had worked there for 9 years as a counselor, that accusing the man of not speaking up. Yes, what about the same woman whose son was bullied, beaten, forced him to join God and he refused to beat the boy? And she went there, she saw the video, they recorded the boys, the video while they were beating him. And according to her, that the video is online somewhere, but the principal did not ask. Did she also speak up? She didn't speak up. So why pushing her emotions on the man who quietly resigned because he couldn't bear the nonsense going on there, the inimical activities going on at Dowen? But she was directly involved. The son was beaten and everything, the video was recorded, but she even knew the name of it. She mentioned the name of one of the suspected bullies, the Johnny Favor. She heard this thing. Why did she wait till now that Sylvester Oromimi is dead? Why is she not shouting? So I don't know why she was channeling her anger on the man who said she worked there for 9 years until he resigned because of this. Let me tell you one thing. I've worked for so many private schools. If I'm working for one of the what you call grade A private school in Lagos State today, I'm working for the school. They have boys hostel, whatever. If you get there, you see rules and regulations everywhere. From the staircase down to, from the ground floor down to the last floor, you see rules warning about bullies. You see different rules being pasted everywhere. Bullies are this, bullies are, if you bully there is a crime. You could be punished and sent home, you'll be suspended, or you'll be given punishment in that school in Lagos here. That school does not, if it's a Christian school, that I'm not going to mention the name, so I don't look as if I'm here to advertise it. We have people in charge that, in fact, in the night, you have security men on ground. You have uniform men. You have the civilian ones, the security, all these, what do you call them? Those civilian persons, security guards. They're there, and the uniform men will come there at night, parading the hostel. Boys, we have people on duty that in the night they will move around to ensure that all of them go to bed before they could before the housemasters could go to bed to sleep. They have people on duty at night. Same applying to guest hostel. If we have people like this, in that, if you are not just collecting, according to the room, I said 3 million, that is for the school fee. If you are just collecting this million to enrich yourself, to enrich your economy, to belong to to form yourself in the group of the criminal de la crème in the society. So why are you, if you are collecting children, why can't you provide security for these children? In fact, that death, the boy's death, is painful till now. I wouldn't use the word was painful. It's painful because I practically watched him. I watched him while he was dying.
No,
on Instagram.
Yeah, that video. No, that video is not. It's not what you want to see.
Yeah, the most painful death is to see someone die, knowing that he was going to die, and he was crying while dying. When someone died in that manner, is the most painful death. He was even saying when the father was interviewed on Arise TV or something, the father said his son was crying, "Daddy, please, I don't want to die. Daddy, I don't want to die. Look at that, Daddy, please." And when I was saying, "Daddy, please," look at his lips everywhere. His lips red, peeling out, and the boy was saying that he was giving some substance to drink, meaning that even his organs, the organs in his body have been affected. He was trying to want to die. The father said so many things that's pathetic, so pathetic that when the boy died, he was still shedding tears. Tears were still rolling down from his eyes. After his death, tears were still rolling down from his eyes, meaning he died a painful death. He was forced to leave this earth by people who were reckless, by a school who have no reason to, by people who have no reason to be in the business. In Nigeria today, what is the problem? The problem is that the government has failed us. The government has failed us. You can't tell me that all of you in the UK, you put your children in private school. What is wrong with our government schools? If the government has not failed, the government in all sectors, in all stages, both local government, state and federal, if they have not failed us, if the government schools are functional, why would parents be taking their children to private school where they pay through their nose and they will not get, at the end of their lives, their children's lives are still at risk? If the government has not failed us, why would children go to school and why would children go to private school where government could not monitor, government does not have supervisory people to supervise this private school to know if they are measuring up with the standard of safety standard? Why would government be giving out licenses to these people to operate? Is it just to collect money because they are paying their module every year? That if you come to Lagos today, you cannot count the number of private schools in Lagos. Some registered, some are not registered. Some government approved, some non-government approved. Because some of us will like to patronize the one we can pay, the one that we can pay. Some have the one of 30,000 per term, some the one of 60, 400,000, 300,000, 600,000. So if I cannot pay the one of 40,000, I'll go to one of 60,000. If I cannot pay the one of 60,000, I'll go to one of 30,000. That 30,000 is as good as a death trap. You keep praying to God. You know that when you put your children is not safe, but you will be asking God by the grace of God, you'll be praying to God to protect that. You see, the school system needs to be holistically looked into by the government. The government is sleeping. Look at, we are told that the place is closed down by the Lagos State government. Let me tell you, it has gone this far. It has gone this far, and thank God for the Sylvester's father. If not that the man is also one of those wealthy people, that nobody will have heard about it. You just heard that we are taking action. We are taking action. We are taking action. We are top of the game. That is what we are, politicians, our government. We are top of the game. At the end of the school will start running. I will not be surprised if that school will be open, because of suspected students that are still writing their exam online. This first term exam, Dowen students are writing their exam right now. They are writing their exam online. Does that mean that? Does that even show that they feel for this? I mean, do they even have human feeling? What stopped them from canceling the exam? Meaning that woman that was shouting, why did you speak up? Why did you speak up? But some parents are saying they are then writing, their children are writing their exam online. Why can't they? What stop them from canceling the examination? Use it to mourn the death of this boy. Yeah, that's anything, because we are hearing this because it happened to one of those. Today I told you, let me tell you, something happened today in a Keja here, in a Ojudu Pega. Government students just closed from school, coming out of the school, trying to cross the road. A trailer came from nowhere, failed brake, and crushed so many of them. Some people say it's about 10, some people say 5, and we have not got the real number of students that were crushed this afternoon. Crushed to death. Because those parents are parents from, one of those poor, maybe from poor homes. Nobody will hear anything about this. The only thing is that the children will be empowered. But you don't know, nobody will go in for that because their parents, fine. They may not even have money to do the burial, to bury their children that they were killed. You will not hear. Sylvester happened to be one of those that belong to those who have belonged to the community, those who belong to those who belong, or those who are connected. That's why we can get the death of Sylvester. Many are dying every day without anyone hearing about it in different private schools. Many will not hear about it. But my question is, how long shall we continue to bury the poor without their voice being heard? But only when the rich are affected, that is when you hear everywhere. The media, everybody will take it up and make it noise everywhere. What is so important? Their life is life. The ones that are crushed today now, who will take responsibility? Government? The only today, what I saw there, on social media, policemen were deployed to that place to avoid violence, started shooting tear gas everywhere to drive the student away. You don't want them to voice out to protest why trailer kill our people or kill our colleagues. So you can see that a lot of things are happening.
Mr. Pop, let's pass it over to...
It's just one out of what has...
So, yeah, I know you have a lot to say, because it's really pathetic, and everyone will actually have a lot to say on this situation. Because when I saw that video, imagine his heart is heart-touching. Mr. Let's pitch it over to you. Let's hear your view on this subject, and we could hear round up, because our time is almost spent.
My opinion will come from different dimensions. Both the one that are favorable and the one that are maybe unpleasant for those who wish to hear, let them hear, and those who wish not to hear, let them not. Well, before I proceed, let me send my sincere condolence to the family of Sylvester. This is uncalled for, it's worrisome, and I pray that may God give them the fortitude to bear the loss. But however, I think the problem about our educational system, continues to be a social problem. And I want to come from the angle of what are some of our old men, what they have said in some of the books that we have read. Even though they said it from different dimension, but in this context, I'm going to use it, for my own analysis. Somebody once said that capitalism is the cause of its own destruction. But so many of us, felt, maybe when this guy was talking about this thing, This guy was, practically talking about the economy alone. But then it's, affects every sphere of our life. Okay, look at it. The government, who have failed in their responsibilities to ensure that basic education is accessible to every families. I'm sure if education is accessible, by all, nobody will take his or her child to a school of where he or she will pay 3 million and yet will not even get, what is needed. But then the question is this: who should be blamed? Is it the system? Is it with the people? And coming from what I started from, the capitalism, the literary explanation of what I mean is that those who were given the responsibilities in government, to help us fix our educational system, instead of them to fix, they choose in embezzling the money. Yesterday we were still talking about 950 million naira. Because they choose to embezzle this money, they become the creme de la creme of the society. The so-called government institutions. Now they are taking their children to the private school where their children are not even safe. And like somebody has also said, that one day the poor will have nothing to eat, than the children of the rich. It's so pathetic, because trying to explain this, I feel so constrained. And that's why I mentioned the fact that for those who want to hear, let them hear. We will continue to speak, the words of wisdom, either on the side of the government or on the side of we. When we say government is simply defined. Abraham Lincoln has said it. It is the government of the people, by the people, and for the people. We were here mentioning the fact that the president, released the sum of 950 million naira to 52 federal teaching universities. Through who? By who? Is it not the same with the people? Then for who? Is it not the same with the people? Now, if we are talking about private schools, like I said earlier, the reason why our government school failed was because those who were charged with responsibilities of managing and ensuring these government schools get what it takes to accommodate everybody, regardless of your status and class. They have paid in their responsibilities. Now, all these monies that they have taken from government, if you ask me now, majority of those you see, who are parents in majority of the private school that we have in the country, they are either contractor to the government, consultant to the government, supplier to the government, the permanent secretary, director of this, minister for this, commissioner for this. I'm not saying that somebody who is capable enough cannot send their children to private school, but the bulk of the people you find sending their children to private school of today, are the people, who have, more than enough, or who have stolen more than enough from somewhere. Because we all know what the economy of Nigeria is talking about. I don't know what business, I don't know what job that you want to do for you to be able to afford naira in just 4 months for a child.
3 million. I was amazed.
Talk less of other responsibilities of the house. You pay this, you pay bills.
Not just even imagine those who have 2-3 kids. I want to be in the same school.
What I'm making is some people you find out, paying this luxury amount of money. Some of them you see, and when we investigate, thoroughly, you realize that majority of them are actually milking from the system in which they are supposed to build for everybody to enjoy. Also, I am very sorry, for saying this. You understand? But the truth must be told. And now coming to the issue of Sylvester, I think there are many of such issues, but because this one is so peculiar, because of the nature and the way that happened, we are seeing it on the media. People are saying so many things, and when it comes to bullying, I think bullying started many years back. Because myself, I think I also attended a boarding school for a few years, and in those days we knew what your seniors, will literally do to even the schools that are not boardings, the normal day school. We know what seniors, always do to, in normal junior students. This has been an historical, issue when it comes to our educational system. But by and large, what I'm trying to say is that if the system is equipped enough, if the system is well monitored, I think some of these aspects of bullying, can be, taken to the barest minimum. Because what I see that has happened in that school, I see that if we say the children of the poor, lack good parental care, then what of the children of the rich now, who have everything, it takes for them to be able to survive. Talk less of the one that the father and the mother left home at about 5 a.m. They won't come back at about 11 p.m. at night because of struggle around. As a result of that, they could not look after the children the way they're supposed to look after them. But then, in listening to the video, I think I came to a particular conclusion that one, we lack one major thing in our country as the idea of whistleblowing. Let me just give an instance.
Yeah.
For instance, somebody committed a crime against the law, and eventually because you saw that person from your window in the house, and you choose to call the police. My brother, I tell you, once the police come and they take their leave, the next thing is everybody in that community will come for you. But the question they have failed to realize is, if the crime, that person in question had committed, if it's a crime that is tantamount to, demolish and, threaten, lives and properties of people in that community, they don't think about that. All what they think about is, oh, this person has reported this case to the police. Why did you report to the police? Why are you bringing the community for them to come and interrogate somebody? So the idea of whistleblowing, I think we need, to also understand, why whistleblowing is important, and to what extent that can whistleblowing, go to help us in curtailing some of these breakdown of laws and order. So also, let me talk about the idea of school monitoring. TG, are you with me?
Yeah, I can hear you clearly.
School monitoring. I think so also in that dimension, the government has also failed in their responsibilities in ensuring that every private establishment are giving adequate monitoring. We were here yesterday talking about the issue of the university teaching hospital. Who were giving money to provide for modular isolation centers. We talked about the fact that after the money were being released, there was no adequate monitoring to ensure that the money is judiciously used. Also, when it comes to the issue of schooling, I know and I'm very sure that for every Ministry of Education of every state, there's always a department that handles the activities of private schools. I don't know if such exists in most of our ministries, and if they exist, what have been their reason for existence? Because you can't tell me that a particular department, exists in a ministry and they are not doing their jobs. The idea of monitoring goes beyond you going to classes to ensure that these, kids or these children are given the rightful education they're supposed to be given. The responsibility you have again as a government is to ensure that every child, that attend, a private school, because this private school, whether they like on an annual basis, they pay, a kind of charges or dues to the government. So if the government is collecting such money from them, the government also owe them a responsibility, and also owe the general public who happens to be, part of the parent of these children, because the major essence of government is to ensure that lives and properties are being protected. So the government owes a responsibility to ensure that every child in every private school is being monitored and ensured that the child is being treated fairly. But in the case of what we have today, I think reverse is the case. Those that are being sent to go do such things, instead of them to go there and do the right thing, they will just go there and begin to collect brown envelope, which has become the order of the day in Nigeria. Then also I want to talk about the issue of employers of labor. See, we have as a people, the maximization of profits. Like my brother here, Pope said, if you go to the private school you mentioned, they have this, they have that, they have people that are in charge of this, they have security men at night, they have counselors, and like I also listened to the person that spoke, the counselor that resigned from Dowen College. he resigned as a result of the fact that he noticed that so many things that were supposed to be in place, so many structures. And I think he mentioned the fact that at the moment the child is registered into that school, first they take them out of the main building and take them to other building. The other building is unsafe. Now, the point is, for all our employers of labor, I think we need to still review the issue of over maximization of profits. Because I know if a school like Dowen College will charge as much as 3 million naira from a child, per term. And this 3 million naira, I know they have teachers, they have this, they have cleaners, they have that. They still have to justify that 3 million naira to the extent that every parent that pays that 3 million naira must have a value of what they have paid for. And having a value of what they have paid for is not the end product of that is not the child, taking up good grades alone. Also, the value, the morals that you have instilled in that child is part of the values that the parents, I think have paid for, which is lacking here. So, in conclusion to that, what I'm saying is our employers of labor would, ensure that when they are doing their business, profit alone should not, always be their cardinal objective. What should constitute their cardinal objective is how to give value for what their customers are being paid for. Then I think I've mentioned the idea of government regulation. Then I also want to, talk about the issue of also we as a parents are making a lot of mistakes. When I listen, what some parents were saying in that video, so worrisome, so pathetic. Somebody's child was bullied in a school. She kept quiet, until the other one died and she was saying it. Somebody saw something that is tantamount, to leading to, something that could happen to the children to be unsafe. He kept quiet. He resigned. He went into another job without saying anything, and that has been very synonymous with we Nigerians. If you recall, when we talk about issues of child molestation, rape, I remember that a few years back, assault. This church that is in Maryland, Koza. That was when so many people, so many ladies, came out. They were saying, "Oh, at so point in time, somebody actually molested me. At so point in time, somebody, we have to speak out in order for us to effect change." If you see something like our Minister for Information has continued to preach, if you see something, say something. And I know TG would testify to this, that if you go to any train station in London or if you enter any bus, one of the campaign in the bus is if you see something, say something.
Exactly, yeah.
In a way, is helping the system. Because when you see something, when you speak out of that thing, there will be an instant solution. It's not for you to see that somebody is planting a bomb somewhere and you didn't say anything. And after the bomb,
you speak out of time, you speak out, you are in trouble.
No, that is what I'm saying. That we still need to strengthen the system to ensure that some of these things, are being put in proper shape. I remember about a few years ago, I was traveling from I think London, or London, Victoria to Manchester. I was at the train station. We were waiting for the train. Somebody just entered the train station, and the next thing we saw was the police coming. When the police came, they couldn't find where the guy was, seated, and just one innocent boy stood up and went to the police and pointed at the guy. And after the police left, nobody said anything to him because they felt the police chased somebody into that train station, maybe because peradventure he had committed an offense where he was coming from. And what if that kind of person has a bomb in him and eventually comes in to bomb everybody because of our silence? So what I'm saying in essence is we should not wait until things happen before we begin to blow alarm. There are ways you can, I know the system is not safe for whistleblowing. Let's take, for example, somebody committed an offense or somebody stole something and eventually called the police to inform the police. I know it is still the same police that will go and tell the person, I don't tell them, I innocent, now tell me about that thing. You know, and I remember there was a case that happened recently, when one of the prisons in Nigeria was actually attacked. You know, somebody who was convicted for an offense, like, immediately find his way to escape out of the prison when the prison was being attacked. The next place he went to was the person that testified against him, and he killed that person.
Can you imagine?
So the point I'm making here is, the system should also, try and encourage, protection of whistleblowing, because whether we like it or not, whistleblowing is helping. Okay, if we look at some of the attacks that we have got in the north, some of them, reliable information came that even the Nigerian army got information about it, but they neglected.
Mm-hmm.
So the point is, we need this thing not only in the educational system, we need it in every aspect of our life. Because that of Sylvester has just happened now. We are discussing it. Everybody is discussing it. Even though I even see some people who are not even, taking responsibilities of duties that have been given to them as, whatever means that they use in surviving. They still speak of this thing. So it's only Nigeria that somebody that is not doing the right thing. But when he says the wrong thing, he will speak of the wrong thing.
This is where we have the problem.
You cannot use too wrong to make it right. So on the final note, I want to once again sympathize, with his family, then also discussing the steps that are being taken, by the government. I think the government has not really done well. And I will say this to the ears of who cares to hear. Shutting down that school alone is not, the solution that we needed at this point in time. Imagine this is an event that occurred about 5-6 days ago, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, but they've arrested 3 of the kids.
Just today, after 5-6 days.
I get your point, definitely. I said same.
This is how we tamper with exhibits, evidences. And that's why you see some cases go to the court of law, they fail the test of time. We have seen families where Kashamu family came out and denied the fact that their son is not aware. It's not even. We have heard about the case of a particular family that have taken the particular of the child out of the country.
To travel out of the country, yes.
We have heard about it. Whether it is true or not, we don't know. So the point is, if an issue of such nature has occurred, everybody who is saddled with the responsibility of taking action should mobilize themselves and move down, to where they are supposed to discharge their duties. And also on the issue of the school going ahead with their online classes or online exam, as it has been reported, I think the school needs to be sanctioned. Because for a school to do that, it means the life of Sylvester does not even really mean anything to them. I read this statement released. As good as the statement is so sympathetic, the school was even trying to exonerate themselves. I don't know if you have read it.
Yeah. That was playing football. He fell on the field.
Yeah, no, exactly. We had those stories too.
A child who was playing football and fell could have such injury in his mouth and bleeding.
This is a child that actually, I watched the video when he was taken to the hospital. This is a child that was mentioning names, while he was pained before he died. So should we say that the child does not know what he said? An 11 years old boy.
Almost, he was 12. The post-human birthday was organized for him.
Few days later,
I think the school needs to be sanctioned. I'm pretty sure if I have a child in that school, I'm going to withdraw my child with immediate effect.
But parents, this is the class struggle I said the other day. Because of class struggle, many of them wouldn't want to take up the... Okay, if not for class struggle, ideally, having had all this, automatically you would have been hearing in the news, the trending news would have been, parents started withdrawing their... But have you had any news like that? No, they are all debating, why didn't you speak up? And if you watch that video very well, you will see one of the parents saying that there are no CCTV. So how will you be paying 3 million naira in a school that doesn't have a CCTV?
That was I was coming to there. CCTV is now common in every private school. Schools that are ready for business. Like in our case, every little and every little or suspicious move by the students can be captured. Some students have been called them several times to the office of the GOS to watch their suspicious activities. And right there, sometimes parents will be invited, come and watch what your daughter or your son did. Before he or she was asked or was punished or suspended, they will come begging. After watching the OT, they'll be begging. We didn't know that she could behave like this. We didn't know that he could behave like this. So CCTV should be the first thing for them to install in that school. Dowen College in fact, it shouldn't be at this age. We shouldn't be discussing or any argument on whether they have CCTV or not. It should have been the first thing or the primary thing.
Exactly. We should be discussing the issue of CCTV. Even
the school be saying that the boy was playing football. Can you exonerate yourself or play football? And what comes about the leaves that we are filling out, swallowing?
Let's say so. I said this the other day. Our leader, the kind of leadership we practice in Nigeria here is the kind of leadership where people are defensive, and we've seen it even in the NSAS report. You get the Lucky report.
We see how many lawyers come up to defend this case for them.
So sometimes, the system will have it. People are defensive. If not, the mere fact that such a thing has happened in your school alone is enough for you to own up to say, okay, we take responsibility for the fact, no matter how you want to defend it, whether if the child fell in the field or from the stairs, it shows there was no people monitoring the school. Because you get the point. Of course, for you to have fell from that floor,
is in your custody.
Exactly. So people should learn to take responsibility. In our system, this is one thing we're not good at. We are good at being defensive when things go wrong, but when things go right, we quickly jump into the scene, want to take the praise. You get the point?
On the final note, before I take my, I'm sorry to interrupt you.
My brother, you're still your friend.
Yeah, what I just think we should begin to debate is for us to begin to debate moral values.
Moral values.
It's no matter of talk we talk, about government. There's no matter of talk we talk about other about the school. There's no amount of talk that will bring about how the news is being projected in the social media that will bring solution to our problems. Our problems as a people remains decadence in moral value, not in the children alone, even in the adults. We have serious decadence in moral value. I read on the social media, I think it was yesterday, one professor who was traveling from, I think, Lagos to Abuja, and on getting to the bus station or somewhere, she got a taxi, and in getting that taxi, the taxi took her to the hotel room. She left in the bag. She had about, I think, 100,000. She had a laptop. She had valuables in the laptop, and eventually, I think she had other phone on the bag. And when the taxi driver found this thing, the taxi driver searched the phone. Called the husband. The husband, thought it were even scammers. Before the woman could reach the husband. When the woman reached the husband, the husband now, told the woman, "Oh, somebody called me. I thought the people were scammers." And eventually, this taxi driver returned, these belongings to the professor, and she came up on the social media appreciating the guy, for showing, good moral value. So how many people can actually, you post on the social media today that, oh, you have found 3 million naira on the floor while you are going home. Should you take it back to the owner or you keep it? You see what people will say.
They will call you a fool.
This is the kind of system we have, isn't it?
That person telling you that you not even know if he or she can even be a victim of such kind of thing. So what I'm saying here is there is too much decadence in moral values. The issue of this courtism that has been mentioned, in the issue of Sylvester, the question we should ask ourselves: how did courtism get into the school? If we are saying that the government school are not well organized, and that is why parents are taking their children to private school, then how did courtism get into the private school?
This is the question.
It's not the only the issue we have here is not only bullying. We have issues of courtism. Even if you go to some private schools, we have heard about schools where they have gays, where they have lesbians. In the school age children. You find some schools where even the so-called children even smoke. Okay, we are talking about this boy giving a chemical substance. Where did they get it?
Exactly. There's a lot of questions that are not answered here.
How did it get into that school? How did that chemical substance get into the school?
Even if exactly, let's even say it's a kitchen equipment. For instance, it's a kitchen washing up liquid.
They are left unmonitored, unchecked.
We should begin to actually, debate, moral values rather than debating. Oh, a parent did this. All those ones are aftermath. Because if we don't solve the problem of moral value, I think there's a time bomb. So that is my final.
Yeah, let's leave it like this for now. What we'll do tomorrow, we'll take it further into actually digging it into moral values in our academic system and parental responsibility as well. You get the point? That we will look at tomorrow. That will actually give us the room to actually look exhaustively into that aspect of this whole drama that we're talking about here. On this note, our guests, those of you who have spent time with us, I can see we'll have some viewers on Facebook, on YouTube. Thank you very much for making our time to spend this the last 1 hour with us, and we really appreciate your time. We appreciate your presence here with us. Do well to join us here every evening. We're here live every evening, 6 p.m. to 6:30 UK time, and we deliberate on issues that bother us around our society, about well-being, moral values, politics, leadership, just name it. And if you want to be a guest on this show, do well to let us know. We can always send you a link, and you'll be one of the panelists here to drop your view, to share your vision. We always say one thing, like my brother Ray once said earlier: if you see something that doesn't look right, you have to speak up. If you don't speak up, it means you're giving room for more of such, even worse, to happen in our society. And that is what is actually ravaging the system that we have today. That's what's killing us, setting us back. People see things that are wrong, they keep quiet, they keep mute because they feel it is not actually their concern. And by keeping mute, it shows that you are supporting such system. You're encouraging it. That is the more reason when we see anything that looks ugly in the system, things that we know that is against the law, things that we know that is against humanity, things that doesn't benefit our locality, our community, it is good we come up, we speak up. If we're all scared to speak up, or we say we don't want to speak up, one day, today it may not be you or your relative, tomorrow it could be. This is the more reason we encourage everyone. This is Sovas TV, in case you don't know. It's an open floor conversation platform for grassroots citizens like you and I, who will not have probably the opportunity to stay on the big screen. We did this for ourselves so we can come here and brainstorm amongst ourselves. We share ideas, we share our visions about our society. And the aim is for us to build a society that works for the many and not for the few. And on this note, I remain your host here on this show, Open Talks with TG. I remain TG, your host here on daily basis. Bye-bye for now.